Okay, so we are continuing now in the explanation of al-Bayquniyah in hadith terminology. We have reached these lines. This first part, we already went over it. The author said, وَالْمُعْضَلُ وَالْمُعْضَلُ السَّاقِطُ مِنْهُ اثْنَانِ وَمَا, this is where we want to start today, وَمَا أَتَى مُدَلَّسًا نوعان الأول الإسقاط للشيخ وأن ينقل عمن فوقه بعن وأن. Okay, so what does this mean? والمعضل الساقط منه اثنان. The معضل, the exhausting report, is the one that has at least two consecutive reporters missing from the chain. We finished that. That's the sadr, the first half of the line. Then there's the ajuz, the second half of the line, which is where we are now. And I wrote the sadr, the front part of the line, to give you a reference for the lines. I didn't want to start here with the ajuz, even though that's where we're starting our lesson, because that's the second half of the line. So the whole line is, وَالْمُعْضَلُ سَاقِطُ مِنْهُ اثْنَانِ وَمَا أَتَى مُدَلَّسًا نَوْعَانِ. So that's that whole line here. The first half of the line we've explained already. We want to start with the second half of the line. And then the next line, which that's the first half of the next line, continues with that meaning. وَمَا أَتَى مُدَلَّسًا نَوْعَانِ. And what? And ma, what? Ata, came. Mudallasan, as, let's say, rigged, manipulated. Is nawani, two kinds. Two kinds of rigged reports, manipulated reports. So it goes on into the next line. Here's the first half of the next line. Al-awwal al-isqatu li-shaykhi. The first of those two is al-isqat, dropping. Li-shaykh, yani dropping the shaykh, yani the one who gave the hadith to you. You are deliberately dropping out the one who told you the report. And then, and two, and two, and two. So the first is dropping out the sheikh, meaning you're deliberately dropping out the one who told you the report. And two, yankula, yankula, amman fawqahu bi'an wa an. And then to transmit amman, from who, fawqahu is above him. is from who is above him. Don't forget what above him means here in hadith terminology. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah answer the dua of the one who answers this question. What does above him mean here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Above him means here before him. Before him. Beyond, by. So the first the first kind of rigged report, manipulated report, is deliberately dropping out the sheikh, yani the one who reported to you, and to transmit from who is above him, meaning who's before him, because you're giving your chain. By, an, from, what, and that, yani that he said, meaning you're deliberately dropping out the one who told you the report and attributing it directly to the one before him with a word that's not a lie, because you said from so and so. It is from so and so, but you didn't hear from him directly. Or you said that so and so said. He did say it. It's not a lie, but he didn't say it to you. So you have manipulated this chain here without lying. That's an important part here. The scholars differentiated between lying and other things. Lying, which is to say different from reality, to say what is different from reality while knowing reality. Other things are not lies. Other things such as summarizing, that's not a lie. And uh, wordplay, that's not a lie necessarily. Okay, let's see. What about the second one? It says, what came as a rigged report is two kinds. The first is dropping out the sheikh and to transmit from who is above him by, from, or that he said. What about the second one? We'll see. Let's see if we can cover this much first. So we're going to start here in the explanation of Sheikh Al-Jabarti, rahimahullah. So he explains by merging the explanation with the original text. وَمَا أَتَى حَالَ كَوْنِهِ مُدَلَّسًا بِفَتْحِ اللَّامِ الْمُشَدَّدَةِ. And what came while being rigged, manipulated. So the hadith terminology here has a fatha on the lam, mudallas. Here. Mudallas. That's the name of this type of report. We wrote it last time. Mudallas. مأخوذ من الدلس بالتحريك. This name is taken from the word dalas with fatha on the lam. وهو اختلاط الظلام بالنور. It is for darkness to be mixed with light. سمي بذلك لاشتراكهما في الخفاء. Why is this type of hadith then named mudallas? Because of the obscurity that exists in it. That's the linguistic significance of this name. Naw'ani, it's two kinds. أي كما قاله ابن الصلاح, meaning just as Ibn Salah said. Who's Ibn Salah? Tell me, please, the answer that's relevant to this topic. May Allah answer the dua of who answers this question. Ameen. Who is Ibn Salah? Ibn Salah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ibn Salah is the Shaykh of Mustalah. He's the Shaykh of Hadith terminology. Not that there weren't Hadith terminology scholars before him, but his case is like other Imams who appeared. And then he did a particularly good and important job that the scholars took as a base, and therefore he became their Shaykh. So Ibn Salah in Hadith terminology, he's like Sibawayh in Nahu. Sibawayh, don't you know, he is the Shaykh of the grammarians. And like Ibn Malik, also in Nahu. He's for the later ones, though. Sibawayh is Shaykh of the early ones. Ibn Malik is Shaykh of the later ones. And like Al-Jazari, the Shaykh of the reciters, and others. Ibn Salah, rahimahullah ta'ala. So, this rigged report, mudallas, is of two kinds. As Ibn Salah said, Shaykh, rahimahullah. And this doesn't mean that no one who came after him surpassed him too. But it's very important in the formulation of this field. ثم النووي في التقريب. And then after him, An-Nawawi said so too. You know, An-Nawawi. In his book, in his hadith terminology book, his mustalah book called At-Taqrib. So An-Nawawi has At-Taqrib in hadith terminology. The book I told you about last time explains this. The book of As-Suyuti called Tadrib al-Rawi. لتقريب النواوي. The two are rigging the chain and obscuring the sheikh. الأول وهو تدليس الإسناد. The first one, which is rigging the chain, الإسقاط للشيخ, is dropping the sheikh. Sheikh here means a sheikhihi, meaning his sheikh, the one who's doing the dropping. The reporting one, the one who's reporting to you. Yeah. If you wanted to look at it from the perspective that this one is talking to you, the one who's reporting to you is dropping the one who reported to him. Or if you want to look at it from the perspective of you are the reporter, then you would be dropping the one who told you when you are telling someone else. وأن ينقل أن يروي عمن فوقه أي الشيخ كشيخ شيخه فمن فوقه, and then to transmit, meaning to narrate from the one above him, above the sheikh. Now we're using the word sheikh here. This is all hadith terminology. Does this word sheikh mean the one who told you is necessarily your sheikh? Not with the meaning you might think. Here, sheikh means the one who told him the hadith. Being his sheikh here means the one who told him this hadith. But could be, for example, that they're actually peers. This one who told him the hadith, what if they're peers? What if both of them were companions? What if both of them were tabi'un? What if both of them were peers under the same sheikh, but he happened to take this hadith from this one? Then in this case, we're going to call that peer of his sheikh, with the meaning that he is the one who told him the hadith. And I'm using the word hadith here because this is hadith terminology. But sometimes I replace the word hadith here with a broader word, the word report. So to broaden your horizon here, someone reported something to you. Now you are reporting it to someone else, but skipping the one who reported it to you when you tell him. And we're not talking here about just merely telling someone, I heard. That's not what we're talking about. We are saying here you are giving a chain. So now, when you just say I heard, you're not giving a chain. So that's not the topic here. But now you want to embark on giving someone a chain. So you're going to give him the chain. But in this case, you're dropping the one who actually told you. And you narrate from the one above him or someone above him, above this sheikh, yani this one who reported to you. كشيخ شيخه فمن فوقه. Like you might even skip the one who told you and the one who told him and attribute the report directly to the one above him. Lacking, but there is something important here. Very, very important here. Because we're not, yani, which is right here. ممن عرف لقاؤه له حديثا or لقاؤه له. What's most very important here for this case of Tadlees. Tadlees, this is the topic. This is the attribute of the report. This is why we're describing the report as mudallas. It has this attribute of tadlis, this trickery or obscurity. To be this case of tadlis, there's a detail that you don't want to leave out, which is that, yeah, you are dropping someone out of the chain, maybe even two, but the one you are attributing the report to, if it were you, is someone that it's confirmed that you met him. This one, it's confirmed that you met him. So, for example, I met Sheikh Abdullah, rahimahullah. I might tell you something, most of what I would say from the Sheikh is not something I heard from him, though. And rarely, actually, I will say I heard from so and so that the Sheikh said. Just to give you an idea here. But Alhamdulillah, I never dropped someone out on purpose, never targeted, never had this intention. Rather, just I'm a small fry, so there's only so much I can do. So this one that you are attributing the report to, it's known that you met him. So when you do your report this way, it seems like there's a connected chain. There's a disconnection in the chain here because you are reporting from someone what you did not hear from him. And part of the trick is the fact that you actually met that one. So if the person you are telling knows that you met that one, and then you told him from Fulan, then he might think that you are reporting something you heard from Fulan when really you're not. So what we are talking about here is some people who deliberately do this. Hadithan lam yasma'hu. He is reporting from this one that he did indeed meet a hadith that he never heard from that one. Lam yasma'hu minhu. Wa innama sami'ahu min ghayrihi anhu. Rather, he heard it from someone else through his route. So this is how he has rigged or manipulated the chain. بلفظ يوهم الاتصال. He rigged it by some expression that gives the impression of connectivity. So he's not lying. وإن كان لا يستلزمه. Though the wording he's using to convey to you is not explicit in hearing, it's not an explicit statement of hearing it from someone. Rather, it gives the impression. وَذَلِكَ كَعَنْ وَأَنْ, like saying from so-and-so, or that so-and-so said. بتشديد النون المسكنة للضرورة. يعني this word "an" here, Sheikh Al-Jabarti is saying, if someone were practically doing that, he'd actually be saying "anna" with a shadda, that. "Anna fulanan qal," that so-and-so said. But the way it's written in the poem is "an" with a sukoon on it, للضرورة, to keep the beat. Yani, for the necessity of keeping the beat. For the emergency of the poetry. فإنهما لا يستلزمان السماع. Neither of those two are explicit in hearing. With the explicit in the meaning of that the reporter heard what he is reporting from the one he is reporting from. ولكن يوهمانه لاحتمالهما إياه. Rather, they just give that impression because it could mean that. وَمِثْلُهُمَا قَالَ وَذَكَرَ. And what's like those two from and that so-and-so said is he said and he mentioned. So when you learn these things, then you should absorb them, make them part of yourself. Let that increase your awareness. Let that increase your analysis of what's said to you, what you hear. Lots of people play these games. Politicians play these games and others. وَأَمَّا إِذَا صَرَّحَ بِالسَّمَاعِ. As for though, if he explicitly says he heard, ولم يكن قد سمعه من شيخه, and he never did hear it from the one who told who he heard. He ولم يكن قد سمعه من شيخه ولا لم يكن مدلسا. يعني if he says he did hear but he never heard that from that one, then he wouldn't be a trickster, a mere trickster here, or a mere rigger, or a mere manipulator here. He would be actually kadhib, bal yakunu kadhiban. Then actually he would be a liar, a confirmed liar. ولا تقبل رواية من عرف بالتدليس مطلقا عند جماعة. According to a group of scholars, anyone known for rigging or manipulating the report is absolutely unacceptable. That's one position. He's not a liar, though. وَالصَّحِيحُ التَّفْصِيل. What's correct is that his case is detailed, has a detail. تقبل روايته إذا بين السماع. The rigger or the trickster, his narration will be acceptable if he clarifies that he actually heard. We're talking about someone who is known for being a trickster. Yani, they caught him. So now it's known he's a trickster in his narration. So then his narration will not be accepted unless he clarifies explicitly that he heard. وَإِلَّا فَلَا. Or else it will not be accepted. And why did they give him this leeway here? Who can tell us? Why did they give him this leeway here? This rigor or this manipulator? Why did they give him the leeway and say, if he clarifies that he heard it, then we'll accept his report? May Allah answer the dua of the one who answers this question. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because he's not a liar. Because he's not a liar. Since he's not a liar, they actually gave him some leeway here. This is the correct position. Okay, you're a rigger, you're a manipulator, you're someone who's going to drop someone out of the chain in a way that gives a false impression. And some of our colleagues don't even accept you fundamentally as a reporter. You're discredited to them. But we are going to give you the benefit of the doubt that at least you're not a liar. So then, if you explicitly tell us that you heard, and we know that you're not a liar, we're going to take it from you. So, what does that look like? That looks like, for example, he actually did some Tadlees on you, told you from so and so. So he said, you heard from him? Then he says, well, actually, I heard from Fulan. So why he did that right there, he didn't double down. He didn't say yes, because he's not a liar. So when you stopped him and you pulled it out of him, you pulled, as they say, it's like pulling teeth. When you pulled it out of him, then he said, well, actually, I heard from Fulan. So then when he explicitly states his hearing, then they will accept from him. So ومن أمثلته, amongst its examples, is ما حكاه. I don't have the double for this name here. Is his name Khashram? I don't know. I don't have the double for his name. The hadith scholars have the double for his name, though. They know thousands, thousands upon thousands of names. Clearly, is yani just like Al-Fatiha. That this one said, قال كنا عند سفيان ibn عيينة. He said, we were with Sufyan ibn Uyayna. He's a mujtahid. فقال, he said, عن الزهري, from الزهري. فقيل, and so it was said to him, سمعته عن الزهري? Did you hear it from الزهري? فقال لم أسمعه عن الزهري. He said, I did not hear it from الزهري. ولا ممن سمعه من الزهري. And I did not hear it from the one who heard it from الزهري. رواه الحاكم. Al-Hakim narrated this report. Yani, this came. This history here. Al-Hakim documented this. What about the second type of Tadlees? I think we should save it for next time. Any question?